Romance. What is it? What does the dictionary say? Romance. Noun, a feeling of excitement and mystery associated with love. So what would you say to me if I told you that I think George of the Jungle, the 1990s comedy movie starring Brendan Fraser as a himbo Tarzan George, opposite Leslie Mann as his love interest Ursula, features what I think is one of the most romantic scenes in all of cinema? Because I do, and let me explain to you why. So obviously this movie is one of those aimed at kids but with like wink wink jokes for adults, and I'm actually kind of making this off the back of a Tumblr post that has been floating around for years about how George is a quote unquote great example of the female gaze, with his blue eyes, long hair, general sort of 90s dreamboat looks, coupled with the himbo personality that Fraser plays so well. I imagine you're watching this video because you know the film, but to catch you up to this scene if you haven't, essentially, George is very much, as I said, a Tarzan-esque character and lives in the jungle amongst the gorillas. Ursula, a wealthy heiress engaged to a slime ball, is on an expedition to look for something called the white ape, which unbeknownst to her and her slime ball fiancé is in fact George, a human man. On the expedition, she gets separated from her group and attacked by a lion, and George rescues her. He brings her back to his home, they get to know each other, and George, very much into her, attempts to woo. Being a family comedy, obviously his initial attempts made under his gorilla brother/butler's advice are played for laughs and are met with a generally nonplussed reaction from Ursula. And, well, now, here we come to the scene that I'm here to talk about, the De La scene, the campfire dance scene, the most romantic scene in cinema. Exterior treehouse, night. Ursula sits on the ledge and George comes over to join her. A moment of awkwardness and giggles.
Did you fight a crocodile for this?
Oh, no, George not fight.
And this is where we introduce their little good luck charms. They each share their stories about how they obtain their charms. For George, the crocodile tooth, a gift he received for helping a creature in need.
Juju?
Good luck. Protection.
And for Ursula, the ring that she found in a cereal box. It's got no monetary value, but she's always considered it a good luck charm to her, and she gives it to him. I think much like the crocodile, to thank him for saving her, passing along her good luck to him, stringing it on the same necklace that he wears the crocodile tooth on. Also, he smells her hair. To be honest, this is something I usually find a bit cringe. Is this something that normal people like? Is that romantic, smelling your hair? Like, ladies with the long hair, is this nice? Do you like that? Are you someone who thinks hair smelling is romantic? It just makes me think of that scene in Friends where Phoebe is all like,
Did you or did you not smell her hair?
Smell her hair? Well, what if I did?
90% of a woman's pheromones come out the top of her head. That's why women are shorter.
It just seems so silly to me. But George thanks Ursula, and they blush and make goo-goo eyes at each other for a bit, and then the moment breaks when we hear the gorillas down below the treehouse banging out the beats. George announces that it's time to dance and jumps down, and he asks her,
Ursula, want to dance?
but she turns him down.
I'd be too embarrassed.
And George does not even understand the concept.
What mean embarrassed?
That's when you feel stupid in front of other people. You know, like they're judging you. You've never felt that?
No, there are no other people.
There's a wonderful simplicity to his response here, and Ursula seems to see that too. Then he does a pratfall and explains that while he knows that he's clumsy, he doesn't feel stupid because...
Something good always happen after. George's just lucky, I guess.
And, oh, I love that cheeky little twinkle in his eye. You know he's hoping to get lucky here too, I think. Okay, so obviously a huge part of this scene's magic comes from the song. It's De La by South African artist Johnny Clegg, and it sounds to me like it's the regular version from his album Cruel, Crazy, Beautiful World, but with an added horn section that, as far as I know, is just for this film. Now, the lyrics are obviously important because the song is edited in such a way with like extra sort of pauses so that we don't miss any of the lyrics when the characters are still talking. The song opens with the line, "One day I looked up and there you were," as George looks up toward Ursula. And then she says no, and George tells her there's
No people here to look stupid for. Just George.
Then the next lyric is,
Like a simple question, looking for an answer.
While he does a couple of moves and looks up at her with those questioning eyes. So here's a simple question in this context, dance with me? And Ursula changes her mind. And then over the next part,
Now I am a whale, listening to some inner call, swimming blindly to throw myself upon your shore.
George reaches up to Ursula to help her down from the treehouse. This is very sweet, very romance. Here the camera focus and sort of the centre of the scene is really all about Ursula, and we get to see every expression of hers. Just as George sets her down and briefly steps away, we're still following the lyrics.
What if I don't find you
Just for a moment, we see Ursula reflecting that feeling, looking worried because she doesn't know what to do next, but by George steps back into her space to swing her around and bring her into the circle around the campfire. Okay, we're going to use a little bit of presumably community-provided Genius Lyrics annotations here to translate a little bit, because Dela Niganya is Zulu for content or having enough. Content when I'm with you. In this case, it is being used in the context of being content with someone else's love. Sondela means approach. Here, Sondela Mama means come closer, Mama, telling his lover to come closer in his embrace. Yep, that all makes sense. And so all this, again, all the things happening in the scene are sort of like visual representations of those lyrics. It's like lyric painting, I think is the term that my drama teacher taught me when I was in my A-levels. George, with his Tarzan moves, beckoning for Ursula to come closer, come in, and enter his world. And we see that Ursula, even though she's hesitant at first, grows in confidence as she watches George. She's starting to copy his Tarzan moves, nervously at first, and then getting more into it as the scene progresses. Okay, so this is it to me. This is the crux of the romance here. It's not flowers and serenades and grand gestures. It's a sweet scene where someone who is so free and uninhibited helps somebody who's shy and preoccupied with their own perceived shortcomings, sort of brought down by societal pressures and expectations. It's like the purest sort of bonding moment, where the focus is on how George can help Ursula feel like she can have fun and let loose, because of the simple fact that there are no people around to look stupid for, just George acting all silly goofy in his own way, unburdened by the idea of living in a society where it would even be possible for people to be making fun of or judging him. And this is the world that Ursula is being introduced to and could become a part of. Okay, and then there's this line.
I've been waiting for you all my life, waiting for redemption. I've been waiting day and night, I burn for you.
The yearning, the romance, I love it. Burn for you, I burn for you. This means more to me, sung by Johnny Clegg over this scene with Brendan and Leslie, than it ever could when growled at us by the admittedly incredibly handsome Duke in Bridgerton. The scene closes with George and Ursula bouncing around the campfire, the narrator telling us,
And so it came to pass that George of the Jungle attended his first co-ed dance.
which is just, you know, a funny little reminder that this is a family comedy. I'm talking about a family comedy movie. So, just what is it that makes this so romantic to me? I've already said that I think that there is something about the innocence of the scene, but I also think the song, which it seems like the scene was clearly built around, is absolutely integral. Lyrically, it's talking about finding wholeness, completeness, satisfaction through love. It makes me think of Carly Rae Jepsen's thing of not even knowing but waiting for love to come around. And Brendan is mostly in like goofy mode this scene, and rightly so, but I do also think there's this particular part just here where he's helping her down that has a bit of the intensity that feels a bit more real and like holds a bit of promise. There is true romantic intrigue in the look of him here. Just here? Do you see it? Are you seeing it? But I think it's important to the scene that they don't kiss. There's no like consummation of the romance this early on in the film, as the entire point of the scene is just for George to bring Ursula into his world and make her comfortable there and open up, you know, the possibility. That's the magic and that's the romance, baby! Over the arc of the rest of the film, Ursula brings George back to San Francisco for medical attention after her fiancé shoots him, and their roles are reversed with George now being out of his element, with Ursula's mother telling him that he doesn't belong there, with Ursula encouraging him to leave. Basically, he's having the sort of exact opposite experience that Ursula was having when she came into his world. And, you know, like, this is devastating. He goes away as requested. He leaves behind the crocodile tooth for Ursula as a goodbye to her and completing the circle of exchanging good luck charms, giving a reminder to the audience of the scene that began their romance properly, which is honestly so... ugh! Of course, though, Ursula goes after George to confess her love, shenanigans ensue, and then we get our happy ending. And to call once again to the most romantic scene in cinema to me, the song De La plays a second time at the end of the movie when George and Ursula get married, and this time everyone's dancing together, with the nearby village locals dancing alongside Ursula's high society family and friends, symbolising the proper meeting of George and Ursula's worlds. It's very cute and very silly, and I love it.
I've been waiting for you all my life, hoping for a miracle. I've been waiting day and night, day and night. I've been waiting for you all my life,
And apparently this song is a popular song to play at wedding receptions, so I'm going to have it play at mine. I'm going to have that. And that's it. Just a short one. I hope, though, that this video can encourage this George of the Jungle de la dance scene into the canon of most romantic scenes in cinema history here. I lay it at the altar now. And thank you very much for watching this video. If you've made it this far, thank you. And you will see me again if there is another one. Goodbye.